Well, obviously that was a great win for us. Score 40 points on Virginia. That's a heck of a thing to do in the first half. I just thought our guys came out really ready to play. The defense was terrific, and then typically against Virginia, you have to call a lot. You have to call your actions because you have to be organized and together. But I thought we did such a good job of flowing into offense and driving downhill, making the right reads. Hey, coach, how you doing? And then good things happened from that, and we just kept our foot on the gas. But a lot of respect for them, their program, Tony as a coach, and to beat those guys is a great thing. And we know it's such a quick turnaround, so we're going to enjoy this for a few more minutes, and then we're going to move on very quickly. So I'll take any questions.
Hey, Jon. Tremendous defense. Was that the game plan? It looked like you had those guys locked up in the first half.
Well, look, I don't know if you feel you can hold them to 18 points, but we just played against them or against anybody, but especially when it's low possession, you have to just play every possession. You got to compete every possession, and we did that. I thought the bench came off with great energy, and we just kept coming at them, and that's what you need to do. And I thought especially everybody played well and did good things, but especially the four returners. Mark, Flip, Tyrese, and Jeremy. They just had a great pop to them. And Flip, when he's that way, I don't think there's anybody like that in the country. And Tyrese was just in complete control tonight. Just driving, shooting, playmaking, competing, defending. I just thought it was they set the tone for our entire team. Those four guys.
Jon, it seems like games against Virginia so often hinge on who can impose their tempo on the other team. Duke was able to really speed them up from the very beginning of the game. Can you talk about that as part of your game plan and how your team executed it?
I don't know if you can ever really speed them up, but if you get stops, we always want to look to push in transition. That's something that we look to do no matter who we're playing. And tonight we could do it because we did a good job on defense. I thought Mark, Flip, and then Sean really had some big-time plays protecting our basket. And, them doing, like Mark had a bunch of them. And when they do that, it's going to lead to runouts. And that's where I thought our decision-making was really good, our shooting, and then really attacking the basket is probably the best we've done that here recently.
Jon, you guys had 44 points in the paint, 28 in the first half. That's the most Virginia's given up all year, and far more than they normally do. What did you like about the way you guys were attacking the paint specifically to sort of set the tone against their defense?
I thought it definitely started, Aaron, with the downhill drives. It sounds simple, but they do a great job guarding one-on-one. They do a good job, making you play through resistance. And you have to, when you have opportunities, after movement or in transition or from closeouts, when you have the opportunity, you got to drive downhill. And Flip probably did the best job right away. Tyrese had a few drives. I thought Jeremy was very patient. What can happen with our team, I think we have good firepower, right? And so all of a sudden, Jeremy and Jared didn't even score in the beginning. And just Jeremy was really patient, Jared too. For us to score 73 against them with those two guys not even scoring in double digits, that's really good. But you have to get downhill, and I thought we did that tonight.
Jon, hey, obviously you guys would rather have Caleb and hope he's back soon, but how do you feel like the team's role definition has continued to grow? And you mentioned the pop from the four returners, the bench. How do you feel like they continue improving in that capacity?
Yeah, and look, there's no replacing Caleb by any means, but we've learned this year and last year throughout the season, you have to step up. And I think there's so much where I've said this to you guys before, but everybody expects it to be instant. Minutes, scoring, production for freshmen, and we've had more freshmen be successful here than anywhere. And I'll just use TJ as an example. Like TJ has just been the same every day. He works every single day. He has a routine he does with our strength coach after practice. He has a routine he has a routine that he does with Coach Dilby every day. And so for TJ, when he's in, he spaces, he doesn't over dribble, he competes on defense, he's an active body, and those other guys are better because of him. Same thing with Sean. Sean is just, he works all the time. He just has great pop. He's still learning the game, and thought both those guys just gave us a great lift. So it puts Tyrese and Jeremy, Jared, all those guys, our main guys who we want the ball in their hands. I think they make those guys better. Ryan obviously does that. Jalen has done that. Those guys off the bench have done a great job of just playing to their strengths.
It's probably too early for Caleb on Monday. You see him coming back for the end of the regular season?
Yeah, there's no way for Monday, and I think it's highly unlikely anytime soon. We're going to keep taking it week to week and continue to evaluate, but he's not out of that boot. He's not able to do anything. It's going to be some time still.
You guys obviously have great defensive personnel, very switchy, but against UVA, when they're doing that inside motion, inside triangle stuff, it's a lot of off-ball switches. It's a different kind of
right.
It's not ball screening. How would you evaluate the communication effort today? It's sort of like a different scheme to go up against from your defense.
Overall, good. Our guys, I don't know why they were surprised. Like they kept saying they couldn't hear each other. I think I'm going to blame Cameron and all the fans. And I thought the environment was electric. I thought the crowd was incredible, and that helped us as well. But you have to not just talk switches. You have to command them. And off ball is just we haven't played anybody else that really does that. Their inside motion that they do. Same thing, their twirl motion that they run. And overall, I thought we did a good job. In the second half, there's some slippage, but also they're smart. So they do a good job slipping screens. They do a good job not coming together. And so unorthodox, when they hit the post, they're getting splits and cuts from there. And they got us a few times on that. But overall, we did a good job because it's not easy to defend.
Coach, your defense was awesome.
Thank you, Coach. You see, why can't you guys? It's taken me 2 years. Why can't you guys ever just say, that was awesome? Thank you, Coach.
I don't know how I'm going to follow that one up. But,
yeah, exactly.
It's March, as I'm sure you're aware. And I know there's no switch that you flip, no pun intended, but when you're in a situation now where you've got a couple of intense games, NC State and UNC, and do you feel the players who have been there before starting to intensify, I guess?
Well, I guess to answer your question, it's not like I'm thinking about how to motivate them right now for Monday, or for any game we play. For today's game, it wasn't about motivation. I mean, these guys have such great respect for Virginia. We had 2 big-time battles against them last year, one in the ACC championship, one at their place. It's the same thing for anybody here on out. And, for these guys, they all had decisions to make, whether it's committing to Duke, whether it was coming back here. And you come back here to play this time of the year. Like, it doesn't get any better than March. And I want these guys to enjoy it, but not make it bigger than what it is. Be present. And just do what you did tonight. That's just whatever we can do to do that. That'd be really good.
Coach, talk about the job that Therese did underneath. He's their 3-point threat. He didn't get it, but he had one bucket in the first half, but he didn't win against Tyrese.
Right.
I don't think he scored when Proctor was on it. Can you talk about his defense?
It reminds me of what he did at the end of last year, except even better. He played a complete game. He kind of, like, if it's a pitcher, he didn't, hold on. He had 2 turnovers, so it wasn't a perfect game, but it was close. And he just had such a great, he's a big-time competitor. And I think sometimes he wants to do so well, and he can be analytical. And when he's just throwing himself in and competing, there's nobody better because he's a two-way guard. And tonight was a great example. Like the 3 McNeely got at the end of the half, to your point, it wasn't on him. We were switching. He was guarding somebody else. But he did such a great job on defense, on offense, making everybody better around him, but still attacking for his. And that's a tough thing to figure out and have when you have other scorers around you. I thought he was just terrific. I thought he was off the charts, and really proud of him for just competing, defending, shooting, attacking. He did it all tonight.
John, I know you've talked about how much you like this team's response, but given where you were a week ago and where you are today, what have you liked the most about the response this week?
Just to take complete ownership, just to look in the mirror, address what we have to do to get better. It's nice as a coach, I can just be honest, like when we have meetings or review, whether it's this game or last Saturday, it's matter of fact. Like we've been through so much together, it's here's what we have to do. I always ask them, if you disagree, tell me. If you see it a different way, tell me. But hardly ever do they, because they just want to get better. And all these guys, man, they competed. They competed. They blocked out a lot of noise through the whole year. They just focused on what we have to do, and I think we've really gotten better from it.
Coach, at this point in the season, with still 4 games left, what are you going to do with this momentum, and how does it make you feel right now?
Well, it's I think the thing about college basketball right now, or at least ACC, is games don't carry over. It's like just because you played well today doesn't mean you're going to play well on Monday. And this is our 3rd time doing the Saturday-Monday turnaround, 2nd time on the road. And, this group has been at NC State last year. Like, we know how tough of a place it is. We know how dangerous they are. And I think it's all about the preparation. And really the momentum, as strange as it sounds, it's really about turning the page. Enjoy it, learn from it. We have to come back tomorrow morning, turn the page, and get ready and have the same energy, competitiveness, effort that we did today.
Last one here. There's an old adage that coaches remember the losses more than the wins. Last year was your first road game as a coach. Is that one that's kept you up at night?
Was that my first road game?
That was.
Yeah. Well, I remember the game. I I couldn't have told you if it was my first road game or not, but I think for all these guys, it's been fun for me going through 2 seasons with a core group, and because I mentioned before, you're allowed to grow with them. They're allowed to grow with you, and you think about that moment. You think about just the response we've had to different games, and I've always said we've responded. That doesn't mean we're perfect, or it doesn't mean you're just entitled to a win. But I can tell you, I don't think it's motivation for Monday. It's the respect is there for Kevin, his team, NC State, and we'll be ready to go.
Thanks.